Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Broken Brand. It's been a while, but I'm coming back, so don't you worry. And right off the bat, this is something that has never quite entered my mind of thought, just didn't consider it. But today we're going to be talking about something that's kind of went off today, and that is the refund policy at Steam, short games, and everything that kind of surrounds it. I'm going to try to keep this short, but knowing me, this is going to go a bit longer than planned, which is actually no plan at all. I'm just spinning this up and going. So we'll see where we end up. It's gonna be a fun journey, and it's Monday, so whoo, it's just the start of the week, baby. Let's do this. Okay, so this is the tweet right here that started off this whole thing, and that is Zoro Arts created a game called Paddle Paddle Paddle, which is a short kind of you got to get up, but you're on a boat and it's single player and there's co-op mode, and the game can be completed in under 2 hours. And why that 2 hour mark is significant is because if you play a game for less than 2 hours, you can ask for a refund for the game on Steam. Now, what does this mean? This means a lot of different things. It's, and the more I thought about it, my initial thought is link it to achievements. And, you know, that is a possible good solution, but, developers could game it that way. But and I think Steam has more control. Say, you can't dump a certain amount of achievements at the beginning, 25% of achievements, or we won't allow achievements and things like that. But it also says, like, well, for indie developers, we don't have the time to really. It's just me. I don't have the time to set up, or I don't really want to set up achievements. It's based on my game. It's hard to set up achievements, and so that really doesn't work. And the time capsulation of 2 hours seems to be the best metric at the moment. Not saying there's not better, and we can talk about some of the ideas that you have and I've got. And what it comes down to is simply this: horrible people are going to do horrible things and game the system. End of story. Now, here's what it comes down to. Um, I'm already off track completely from my original train of thought, but we're going to go down this way anyways. Listen, if you go into a movie and you walk out when the credits hit and walk to the stand and demand a refund, you're no better than the people that complete a game in under 2 hours and request for a refund. You sit through a meal, eat the entirety of the meal, and demand your money back because you didn't like it, you're a crappy person. Now, we can't stop people from doing that. We all have free will. But I want you to know that if you are one of those people, I don't respect you because you don't respect other people. Because that's not a difference of opinion, ideology, or anything like that. You're just a cheapskate trying to steal from other people. That's what it comes down to. This is clearly just a loophole legalization to game the system to steal. Because you've consumed the product to its entirety and then demanded a refund. You're a crappy person. So, now that I got that little rant out, let's kind of try to jump back on track to what I originally was planning, and that's let's look at Paddle Paddle Paddle. And because, I mean, when you get 90% positive views, and that's at the time of this tweet, it's gone down a bit, over 55,000 refunds, and that's at 21% refund rate. Now, technically speaking, from what I've learned just in the short period of time, and I could be getting my stats wrong, that the average game, indie or studio, the average return rate is about 10%. This is more than double, but it's not like 90% are refunding. So I want to keep that in mind. There's always going to be people gaming the system. And 21% for him For a small indie developer, I'm making games. And yes, my favorite games are RPGs, where I love to play them, but I don't play them as often because I don't have time to sit down and do. At the moment, I can't do 8-hour stretches, 10-hour stretches of gaming to really make headway in an RPG because honestly, I think the shortest one I did was Trials of Mana recently. Well, not recently. In the past 3 years, I think my shortest one was Trials of Mana, and that was 60 to 70 hours, give or take. Somewhere around there, you know. That's 70 hours. And trust me, I've got a couple hundred on some of them. Things like Sandland, Dragon Quest 11, uh, Visions of Mana. I've got quite a bit of time on Final Fantasy. I've got quite a bit of time on a lot of these RPGs. And yeah, it's hard to be like, okay, well, I can play an hour a day. And, it just, when you're playing an RPG, it doesn't feel like enough. Sometimes you want short games. And yeah, we'll just keep heading this way. The short games. And I have a lot of them. I did a quick look. I won't show you my library, but well, even if it is up, I'm not even sure if it is up still. Uh, but I will see. Let's just, I'll just pull it up. Just to give you the depth of, my primary gaming is RPG, things like that. But just boom. I've got games like Space Memory Mushrooms, which is a matching game. I've got 293 hidden object games in my library. I just did the boom. Yeah, a lot of these. Yeah. You know why? Because let's be honest, hidden object games are fun. And to me, it's relaxing. I'll go right over here. I've got one pulled up. Traveling Cats in Japan. This is one I played. Even left a review for it. And if you can't see, it says hours on record 0.5. Did I pay 99 cents for it or 49 cents for it? Probably full price, honestly. And you want to know why? Is because to me, hidden object games and things like that I can complete in a short amount of time and focus solely in, this is a particular de-stressing tool for me. Man, if I can come home and boom, just be like, yeah, just, I don't know where to think, what to do. My mind's just racing. Boom. A hidden object game is like perfect. It takes me right back to my I was going to say teenage, childhood, to Highlights Magazine. Yes, I'm not that old. Highlights Magazine was around when I was a kid in the 80s, so yeah. Um, I love it, and it's fun. It's just, it gets me in a different mindset. It allows me to think. So yeah, 100%. I could go right now and request a refund. I don't know if I can. I mean, I left a positive review and on June 22nd, so that was a few weeks back. But I mean, what? Why would I? I got what I paid for. I enjoyed it, and now it's in my library. And am I going to play it right now? Of course not. But I might just be one of these, come home one of these days and be like, yeah, I need something to just fully escape and just focus on something, on a task. Not a puzzle so much, but a task. And to me, that's what hidden object games are. And there's tons of long running hidden object games out there. Like there's I can't remember, there's a Sherlock Holmes one that I'm currently playing, which is kind of a long running, going through novels. I can't remember. It's free to play, but you can purchase stuff, and it's just one of those I keep in my library just because I'm like, okay, I'll pop in and do that. It's got hidden objects in match 3. It's a fun game, to be honest with you, but it's really expensive and not crazy. But what it comes down to is I saw people that I follow and regularly, like Smash JT and Kata, saying, you should have made a longer game. That's the worst take. That's the worst take. Not any other take you can take because you're like, oh, you only made a 2-hour game. Well, oh my gosh. You're telling me Project Hail Mary was only 2.5 hours? Had you read the book, it should have been 6. I want my money back. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's the exact equal equivalent statement. It wasn't long enough. I want my money back. That kind of take, you may hate me for it, for disagreeing with those two guys, because they're the only two I saw that's had that same take, and I'm like, that's a terrible take. I love this game. I enjoyed it. It did what I wanted. I got my mind just decompressed, refocused, able to push out the nonsense and focus on what's important. It took me half an hour. It would cost me $1, and it was worth every cent. And I like doing them. I like playing these games. They are therapeutic for me. They're fun. Just, and there's so many, like if you go down the hidden object rabbit hole, you will be lost forever because there's so many. They're cheap. Absolutely. With the exception of like that Sherlock Holmes one I mentioned, I think all of them I finished, even with the really long ones, even with the additional DLC. I still probably finished 95% of them in under an hour. Maybe 2. There's a couple that probably cross that hour mark, but almost all of them I'm pretty sure I finished under 2 hours. And I could request a refund. But no, I don't know if it's me, my personality, the fact that, people like, I've literally seen people stand up in restaurants and here in Texas that have try to pull that kind of crap. You ate the meal, you pay for the meal. You didn't like it, you liked it enough to clean that plate, so pay. I mean, I've seen customers back up wait staff during these types of episodes. I've seen it in my life because, yeah, there are crappy people all over the world that try to game the system and do different things, and that's just how it is. Now, let's get back, just so we kind of know what we're talking about. I kind of went off the mark and didn't even really show what this game was. So let's take a quick look, and we got Paddle Paddle Paddle. Now, yes, I have it. I own it. I'm not refunding. I have not played it yet, but I own it. I've actually had it for a little bit of time. I bought it for me and my son, I think about a month back, maybe less than that. I don't remember whenever it was. I don't know. Just got back from a trip, so from a road trip for me and the kids. So my concept of time's a little whack since I had to drive from DC, Washington DC to Dallas in a car with no air conditioning. Yeah, that'll distort all concept of time for you. 21-hour drive with no AC, kind of in the sun, kind of in the middle of June. Yeah, it kind of messes with your head. So that was fun, but yeah, so it's been a while. I've had it for a while. My son has it. We're gonna play it soon. He's currently, I forget what it is. He's currently jumping between Buckshot Roulette, and Roblox with his friends. So whenever he feels up to it, we got this, and we're gonna play it together. So I honestly, like, right now, $3. It's on sale for the summer sale. $3. List price $5. First off, I just want to say this to put this in perspective. This is cheaper than a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. Just putting it out there. You buy a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, it's gonna cost you a bit over $5. Probably close to this, but I think they're $5.99. At least here where I'm at, they're $5.99 for a Chick-fil-A sandwich, which is a bit high for me. I mean, it's just but it's Chick-fil-A, so it's one of those things. Yeah. So you're pinching so many pennies that you can't release $5. Well, maybe I don't want to make the people, I don't want to attack the people so much because for people that do really feel like they got to stretch their dollar. But I mean, the amount of free to play games on Steam is ridiculous. You can find something you enjoy and never spend a dime. 100%. I'd probably say about 20 to 30% of the hidden object games I've got in my library are free to play. Didn't pay a cent for them. But yeah, there's a couple of them that were just absolute trash that were free. Yeah, well, now I don't buy from that developer. Didn't like them. They were terrible. You, it wasn't even. It looked like they just copied and pasted from two different documents, and boop, there it was. So yeah, don't like it. It's a terrible game. Not gonna play it, but I got it for free. Didn't see if you're requesting it because a refund because the game is terrible. You get 30 minutes into it, 60 minutes into it, and you're like, this game is terrible. You're like, you give it a chance, you keep it going, you keep going, keep going. It's a terrible game. Fine. Now, what are the actual options to help curtail this? Because, like I said before, the Steam achievement thing can also be gamed by the devs to prevent refunds. So the time is, but I think there should be, and I've been thinking about it, and I don't have the answer. I'm not some all knowing genius that can figure all this out. But something did cross my mind, kind of reading what other people were saying on Twitter and seeing what's going on. And I was like, okay, I got to, you know what? There should be something. And I think as a policy that could be instated that should limit the amount of refunds you can request on Steam. And as far as I can tell, there's not really one out there. But I haven't read through all the terms of service and all that, and there may be one. But I really think we should up it and they should publicize it. All right, we're changing this due to, you know, the large amount of refunds of requests of a game. We're implementing new policy. No more than, honestly, I think if you're refunding more than one game a month, you're probably not doing it out of the love of or hatred of the game. If you consistently pick enough games and you have enough time to play that many games, I do think you're probably gaming the system. But let's be fair and just say that I think like a 3 game a month policy would be acceptable to everybody, except for those that truly game the system. And they should look at the accounts that really request so many refunds. Like, and it's kind of like, I don't know if y'all saw the story. This was, I don't know, it was way back. It may not be way back, but I remember seeing it back when it was still cold. So it's been a while for me. But there was a woman who was taking advantage of Costco's return policy. And you can return something basic. Costco apparently has the most widely loose return policy. Like if you bought it there, you can return it there even years later. So you have a printer, it breaks, you just return it even though it's 8 years later. This woman kept returning and returning and returning all this stuff over like a lifetime. And at one point, the manager of that particular Costco said, "No, we can't refund you." And it made it way all the way up to the CEO. And the CEO looked at her history and said, "Well, apparently we are not able to meet your needs and satisfy what you're looking for. So it is time to end our relationship." And her Costco membership got banned. I think something like that should be, it's not what she wanted because she was gaming the system. So I think something like that, you get a certain number of refunds in a short amount of time. Obviously, what you're doing is not legitimate. if you want to keep doing this, why don't you try a different platform and go do this on? And because we're not going to be doing that here. We should look at Steam should look at accounts that have high refund rates, not of the games, but of the users. Those are the people we need to suspend temporarily, give warnings to, limit refunds, because it's not, yeah. But I mean, that's kind of crazy though. I know Steam in its employment is not a huge amount of people. I can't remember what the number was. It was like 2,200 people on staff at Steam, something like that. But you got to get to the point where you can't. You got to start chipping away at a few of the top ones. Excuse me, because you start chipping away at the biggest offenders of this, you're going to see it trickle down. So people are like, oh, I don't want to lose my account. It will have an effect. It will not stop it. I don't think it's possible to stop this. I really don't. But we got to come up with other solutions. And this is my take. We got to do something. I don't know what it is because I do feel bad for this dev. And I mean, he made a game. This is his second game. He's an indie dev. I mean, if you're asking indie devs to make what? Your game isn't as long as Final Fantasy 13? What are you doing? You know? Well, that's not what they're making. That's not it. Come on, people. You can't. I'm going to make a short game. Some people want short games, some people don't. I don't know if it would be a requirement for devs to put an estimated completion time. And that's where we go. The dev submitted an estimated completion time, and you know, you can't refund us past a certain percentage of that time as well. That's another thought just popped in my head. But once again, I already see the fault in that one. Dev submitting high completion times when in reality, it's going to take 600 hours and really it takes 40. Things like that. So, yeah, I don't think there's a good solution, but I do think attacking the dev on this is not the right solution either. 100%. I mean, this isn't shovelware. You want to go after people making shovelware? Go for it. I've got quite a few shovelware games in my library for fun. You know why? Because I got them for free, or someone gifted them to me, or, they were just too funny not to play. Kind of like I watch B movies to laugh. Sometimes I play shovelware because it's funny. Not because I enjoy it, because I think it's funny. So you've got to have that mindset too. So there's a lot of things we need to talk about that kind of go, but this has started the conversation, and I do think it got radicalized really quickly. And I'm just of the nature, well, that escalated, as Ron Burgundy said, that escalated quickly. Uh, yeah, we gotta take a step back. Okay, you have to, you have to understand that you're looking at a dev that's like, hey, this is how much money I'm going to make from my game, an indie dev. And then all of a sudden realize a huge chunk of that you're going to lose. Ooh, and you're about to start another game. Oh, this isn't good. I need a good portion of that to pay for the development of my new game, to pay for my time to develop new games. So this punishes this type of behavior, while bad across the board, has a much direct negative effect to indie developers than major studios, because some people will buy major studio games and they will sit in their library and they won't do anything with them. They won't even play them. They'll forget about them because the next new flavor of the month has come, and blah 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 blah. And don't get me wrong, my backlog could choke some people, but like some of you know, uh, I took a hiatus from 2005 to 2023. So, yeah, I've got a lot of catching up to do. And working one job as a single dad and, all this other stuff. you know, as much as I want to, I don't have the time as much as I want to. And I want to do this because there's other things I'm trying to prevent my hopefully get monetized. Not really a big thing, just trying to prevent myself from getting a second job outside the house because honestly, I need it, but I don't want to do it because well, my back hurts enough already. And as some of you know, insurance sucks. So, anyways, let's get back onto the topic at hand. And literally, why punish devs like this? And it's not. And see, I think people are attacking the dev because they feel bad for the consumer, and I get the negative implications that because they can cause from drastic changes by Steam to the consumer, but also to the devs. So if we don't have indie developers making games and we squash the indie developer movie, we're stuck with studios putting out stuff like Concord and Reload It over and over again, and then where will you be? You'll be playing your games you already own, and the game market will have a collapse. So we got to be kind to each other. We got to put things in perspective. Don't just go after the dev. Don't go after Steam. But because really and truly, what the problem is the people doing this, gaming the system, and that's just unacceptable. So that's my thoughts. I'll probably be thinking on it more. Who knows? But until then, we just got to keep being good people, doing what's right, and really expecting things to get better and for other people to get better because drastic action always leads to drastic retaliation. So, until next time, my friends, as always, I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it.